If you're like me and you didn't play Helldivers 1, just barely heard of Helldivers 2 when it just came out, we have lots of questions that need to be answered. What is Super Earth? What do the Helldivers stand for? Why are we even fighting these robots and bugs in the first place? Paddle Thumbz got you. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. This is coming from the Helldivers 2 official game wiki. I'll put the link in the description. Let's get right into it. Helldivers 2 is a game developed by Arrowhead Game Studios and is published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. It was released on February 8th of 2024 on PlayStation 5 and Windows. Hopefully, we'll be coming soon so we can have our Halo prestiged veterans come and help us out. We need the help. This is the game description. Do you believe in freedom? Can you stand in the face of oppression and defend the defenseless? Can you keep democracy away from these cretins? Wage war for peace and die for democracy. Join forces with up to 3 friends and wreak havoc on an alien scourge threatening the safety of your home planet, Super Earth, and this multiplayer co-op shooter for PS5 and PC from Arrowhead Game Studios. Step into the boots of the Helldivers, an elite class of soldiers whose mission is to spread freedom, liberty, and manage democracy to the galaxy once and for all. Helldivers don't go planet-side without proper backup, but it's up to you to decide how and when to call it in. Not only do you have a host of super-powered primary weapons and customizable loadouts, you also have the ability to call on stratagems during play. Helldivers 2 features Arrowhead's best cooperative gameplay yet. Collaboration will be vital. Teams will synergize on loadouts, strategize their approach for each mission, and complete objectives together. Enlist in Super Earth's premier military peacekeeping force today. We are heroes. We are legends. We are Helldivers. The game's plot. Helldivers 2 is set a century after the triumph of Super Earth and managed democracy over the cyborgs, Terminids, and the Illuminate during the events of the first game. It is discovered that upon death, the Terminids produce a unique and highly valuable resource, E710. Farms are established on human colonized worlds, but containment is eventually breached, releasing the bugs and causing chaos and destruction. Simultaneously, a new threat emerges in the form of the automatons, a mechanical army intent on destroying humanity. The game begins with a recruitment video for the Helldivers, who are elite shock troops dropped from orbit to reclaim the colonized lands. Environmental storytelling is prevalent through the game, with various logs, notes, and propaganda messages available for the players to find during gameplay. The story and progress the war is told via major orders, the timed main objectives within the game. Game's reception. Upon release, Helldivers 2 attracted immense interest, overwhelming the servers with a peak of 457,649 concurrent players on the Steam charts within 2 weeks, surpassing popular titles like Destiny 2, Starfield, Monster Hunter World, and Grand Theft Auto 5. These are not including any of the console PlayStation people who are online. Now that we have covered the basics of what the game is, let's cover what exactly the Helldivers Military Corps is and how we defeat these threats to society. Helldivers Military Corps. Our pride. The Helldivers are the scalpel of the military might of Super Earth. Young men and women are drafted from the regular Army Corps to do their part in the unrestful galaxy that is set on destroying Super Earth. Helldivers are dropped into battle using the iconic Hellpods, shock-absorbing tubes that break the atmosphere at extreme velocities only to crack the ground when they open to reveal their heroic cargo. The Helldivers Corps. The Helldivers are one of the main military branches of Super Earth Armed Forces, responsible for defending and spreading the ideals of Super Earth against intergalactic threats at all cost. Barely trained, but well-equipped, Helldivers are sent deep behind enemy lines through the use of ingenious Hellpod, shock-absorbing pods launched directly from orbiting super destroyer ships. Once their hellpods land, they are expected to accomplish their objectives while disrupting hostile presence on the planet as much as possible by spreading the glorious ideals of democracy and completing side objectives to support the larger war effort, all in the name of securing planets in the interest of Super Earth and spreading managed democracy to their current inhabitants. Unwavering, they are always heavily outnumbered and outgunned, with only 4 to a squad against hundreds of foes with entrenched positions, which, along with their poorly trained nature, leads to Helldivers being treated as expendable, all of which the brave Helldivers are more than prepared to deal with. In the event a Helldiver give their life in battle, death being expected and a common occurrence, more Helldivers are ready to drop into hell once more to replace their fallen ally. Thankfully, Super Earth ensures that the Helldivers are at least well-equipped fodder. Every single one is armed with weapons and armor of the highest quality that Super Earth engineers are able to offer. Helldivers are also able to call in the most powerful tool they have in their arsenal, stratagems. Stratagems are a key part of every Helldiver's mission. By calling them in through the use of programmable and easily thrown beacons, divers are provided a wide array of support weapons and utilities such as weaponized drones, artillery bombardments, orbital and otherwise, Eagle fighter close air support, and much more. Our brave Helldivers live and die by the use of their stratagems. One properly aimed artillery strike or a desperately needed autocannon can easily turn the tide of an otherwise hopeless battle. In Super Earth society, Helldivers are hailed as respectful heroes, the fallen, martyrs for Super Earth. Many citizens who are excitedly join the Super Earth armed forces out of a sense of patriotism and a desire to protect others have the chance to be drafted into Helldiver Corps. Helldivers showing resistance, refusal, or any slightest signs of disloyalty are executed as based on a clause in the contract of employment. Ready against all odds, you are the last line of offense against all of those that oppose liberty and democracy. Notes: Helldivers are always outnumbered and the waves of enemies have no end. Keep this in mind. During the century between the two galactic wars, this branch was reduced significantly with the emergence of the automatons and the Terminids, resulting in full-scale activation. Some, like the crew of the Super Destroyer, hope that the Helldivers will remain active after the current war to ensure continued peace. Super Earth Intro. Super Earth, our home. Prosperity, liberty, and democracy, our way of life. But freedom does not come free. It is every man, woman, and child's duty to protect our home, our culture, and our families. Why not make the most important decision of your life? Make the safety of your family a personal responsibility, and prove that you have the strength and courage to be free. Join the Helldivers. Travel the galaxy, visit the capitals, meet unusual people, and represent the Federation. Secure the resources we need to preserve our way of life and create a future for Super Earth. Spread managed democracy throughout the galaxy. Become more than you are. Become a hero. Become a legend. It is the year 2084, when mankind ventured into space. We were curious to see if anything loomed behind those stars. Unfortunately, we were right. The initial contacts were peaceful, but soon the people of Super Earth realized the potential danger of communicating with alien species, and before we knew it, they started our first intergalactic war. For 40 years, the war has raged on, a conflict whereby 3 hostile alien species are hell-bent on a single goal: the total annihilation of the human species. Luckily, the fighting spirit of man has not decayed since the last great war on Earth. We are now stronger than ever. Man, women, and children are alike and encouraged to try their strengths in the ultimate test, to have the courage to defend Super Earth. Government and politics. Mankind has improved upon the old concept of democracy. Utilizing computer-aided voting software, citizens are asked to answer several questions, and the outcome of their vote is decided upon the computer. This removes the uncertainty that existed in the old systems, where voters didn't understand what fully they were voting for, giving us managed democracy. Citizens of the Federation of Super Earth use automated voting software. They answer a few questions on the Galactic Wide Web, GWW, and the computer votes for them based on that outcome. The GWW is a network of interlinked communication devices that transmit data using quantum communication. Very elementary stuff, quotes, according to the ship's CEO. Planetary government. Super Earth is the galaxy's oldest known unitary sovereign state, governed by the core values of prosperity, liberty, and democracy. All headquartered in Prosperity City, Super Earth's planetary government is composed of many executive-level branches of the government, mentioning in-game, including Ministry of Truth, Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Science, Ministry of Expansion, and the Ministry of Humanity. The president of Super Earth is duly elected periodically and leads the government of Super Earth. Political climate. It is made very clear at several points in the game itself and in some of the DLC's descriptions that the government of Super Earth has a history of brutally suppressing dissidents or anyone opposing Super Earth. The Super Earth broadcast screen states that questions regarding the Federation or government of Super Earth shall be sent to the appropriate quadrant. It is illegal to express oneself openly about the Federation or government of Super Earth in a negative manner, and serious cases may result in arrest or termination. Brought to you by Super Earth PD Ltd, sponsored by Super Earth. One of the privates on the ship's bridge mentioned that their neighbor apparently pressed charges on their son for not honoring the Super Earth flag, implying that it is considered a crime serious enough to warrant turning in one's own close family members. The ship's CEO states that all communications over the Galactic Wide Web GWW are continuously monitored by Super Earth in search of alien sympathizers. Citizens who doubt whether the terrorist bombing Super Earth uses as a justification to attack the cyborgs are actually caused by anyone affiliated with the cyborg nation are decreed as cyborg sympathizers. Those who wish for peace talks with the cyborgs are painted as hippies, and Senator John W. Killjoy threatens to have them jailed or even executed. Entire units of Helldivers, arguably among the most loyal citizens of Super Earth, have been known to be summarily executed for supposedly being alien sympathizers. The first use of the iconic Hellpods was when the socialist government of Northman's Creek tried to secede from the Federation of Super Earth. After 50 Helldivers dropped into the parliament, they were quickly executed and the planet brought into compliance. These days, Northman's Creek is the region capital of the Struve region on the bug front. The MP-98 Knight SMG is often used by the Ministry of Defense to rapidly incapacitate groups of wrong thinkers. The Defender signature weapon is the aptly nicknamed CR9 Suppressor, a semi-fully auto rifle firing small fragmentation grenades that can devastate large masses of enemies. Their AD-334 guard dog drones are the most effective against unarmored targets, firing indiscriminately at anything deemed hostile. The Ranger Pack DLC description mentions that the Ranger training was standard procedure for all Helldivers in the early years of Super Earth, but now that has become rarer. From the Defender Pack DLC description, we know that the Helldivers Defenders used to double as riot police before humanity unified properly. The above means it's likely a portion of Super Earth riot police were fully trained military assassination and reconnaissance specialists before Super Earth unified, and that the Ministry of Defense also either acted as a police force or supplemented it. Fun fact, the TOX-13 Avenger was developed by Dr. Junko under the 2079 Active Self-Defense Research and has been tested extensively on live targets. The DLC description for the Hazard Ops pack also notes the following. Sometimes shunned by fellow Helldivers for their use of inhumane warfare, many a Helldiver is happy to have them on the mission when it comes down to life or death. It's not like the enemy is human after all. Foreign relations. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, is inhabited by more species than was previously believed, and it turns out most of them are, in one way or another, hostile. The Super Earth military is fighting to keep back the tide of enemies that besiege us from all fronts. The elite Helldivers go both beyond the front and behind our own lines to support you and our troops. The game consists of endless series of wars against the three factions, the Bugs, Cyborgs, and the Illuminate. As soon as one war is won or lost, another one immediately starts. The Admiral on the ship's bridge pretty much admits to this, stating, of course, when we have won this war, there will be another one to fight. And after that, another. After that, another. I could go on, but you get my point. Let's focus on this war. Cyborg Secessionists. A couple hundred of years ago, cyborg terrorists detonated a massive bomb in one of the city planet, killing thousands of civilians. Now is our time to get back at them. Ship's CO. Super Earth's usual case for war against the cyborg nation is a cybernetically augmented human. In an act of terrorism, detonates explosives in the center of District 48 of Super Earth, killing 8 citizens. Those who doubt the official story run the risk of being labeled cyborg sympathizers. Note, the initial explosion may have killed thousands, but that every war with the cyborgs in the game's galactic campaign is caused by a much, much smaller scale terrorist attack. Cyberstan, the cyborgs' nation's homeworld, is a barren, snow-covered wasteland on the galactic fringe. Whenever it is conquered by Super Earth, the cyborgs are then democratized by force, coerced into the voting booths by the threat of losing their civil rights. Super Earth's Army Tactical Command invariably stations troops on the planet for a period of 5 years to, quote, keep the peace and run government positions. After which the period the cyborgs culture is supposed to have transitioned to a fully democratic one, the Super Earth standards. Meanwhile, the Super Earth Construction Company, SECC, a government contractor, takes over the massive forges and industrial complexes of Cyberstand. Eventually, inevitably, another bombing starts the whole cycle anew. Cyborgs are often depicted by Super Earth government as socialists. They're not at helping the cause with their choice of logo, a red star, constantly shouting battle cries and muttering to themselves in a variety of languages. Cyborg troops gleefully deride the Helldivers and Super Earth as, among other things, Plutarch scum. Rumors about the cyborgs circulate among the ship's crew members. Some, or all, of these rumors could be the result of Super Earth propaganda. According to one of the privates, a crazy scientist started replacing body parts on people she had kidnapped. The threat of being taken away by cyborgs for these perverse modifications is apparently used as a boogeyman. Bugs. Problem or solution? The Federation has decided that the bug threat is becoming too great. Senator John W. Killjoy declared the bugs have been a plague in the galaxy for far too long. They must now be eradicated before they spread to other worlds. Bug war announcement. These bugs are sentient extraterrestrial species, their form reminiscent of very large earth insects, arachnids, or crustaceans, as far as the scientists of Super Earth know. Their home world is Kepler Prime, a desert planet on the eastern fringe of the galaxy. Bugs are known to generate vast quantities of oil during decomposition. Similar to how Earth's pre-human life forms provide us with fossil fuel sources, during the announcement of each new war against the bugs, mention is made of lost oil pumps. The Helldiver core is to reactivate. These oil pumps, which is known as the game's intro, prominently feature a Helldiver skull emblem over the oil drop, are also found on Kepler Prime. The implications of this are that the Helldiver core is responsible for at least part of the resource gathering process, and that they have been to Kepler Prime before, possibly triggering the bugs to attack Super Earth. Super Earth propaganda depicts the bugs as a threat that will infest the entire galaxy if not suppressed. However, when the war against the bugs is won, the tune is quickly changed. Suddenly, the bugs are a rare, valuable species that is a potentially unlimited supply of fossil fuel resources for Super Earth, and eliminating them just wouldn't be right for a moral perspective. Following this, a certain scientist called Dr. Henk Ploeg, then works on a way to safely breed the bugs in a controlled manner. As there is a new war after the current one, and a new one after that, and so on, we can infer that this, quote, safe breeding of bugs tends not to work out too well. Illuminate, weapons of mass destruction. We have solid evidence that the Illuminate have an extremely powerful nano-fusion device that can destroy an entire planet. Could you imagine the cry of millions if even one of these devices are used? The Illuminate, or the Squith, as they call themselves, are an advanced extragalactic race which for millennia has settlements in the south quadrant of the galaxy. If Super Earth propaganda is to be believed, the aliens consider themselves enlightened beings, hence the name, but why would you call themselves the Squith then? Originating from the ocean, the Illuminate species makes use of bioelectronics and nano-powered devices. According to the ship's science officer, they still sting slightly when touched because of their vegetal electrolyte glands. The Illuminate went down the path of electricity in the same way we did, from rocks to bullets. The blue-skinned species was first encountered in the late 21st century, when Illuminate recon craft were frequently sighted. These sightings were dismissed as folklore back then, but after a time, the Illuminate came forward with a peace offering. This was declined by the government of Super Earth when it was found out that the mollusk-like aliens had large quantities of world-destroying devices, nicknamed Obliterator Bombs, by Super Earth. This was deemed sufficient cause for a preemptive strike, aiming and removing their presence from the galaxy and obtaining their highly advanced technology. To quote Senator John W. Killjoy, the statement sends a clear message to all would-be threats to Super Earth. If they have more advanced technology than us, be prepared to pay the price. Culture and society. Liberty Day is celebrated by the citizens of Super Earth on the 26th of October. The Helldivers community also celebrates Liberty Day. Arrowhead Studios has released free DLC available to everyone on this day, consistently as of 2018. Every citizen of Super Earth is issued a ceremonial but functional M2016 Constitution bolt-action rifle when they turn 16 to encourage military service. The government is giving out free weapons to get its young citizens to use to handling a firearm, which implies a highly militaristic society. When I was a kid, I always loved the All Heroes Eve. The adults would all dress up as bugs and ring out the doorbells, and we'd have to fire 3 shots in the air and say, "No fascism here, insects." At the end of the night, they'd reenact and battle the Liberty Peak, and we'd all get cake. Service Technician. Daylight savings time is called freedom savings time. Clocks are set back an hour to compensate even on super destroyers. The C1 Perm, pronounced C1 Perm, child permit form is required for citizens of Super Earth to legally reproduce. According to the NPC privates on the ship's bridge, these forms are not that easy to fill out. Interestingly, the female private also mentions having a wife. In text, but not in spoken dialogue. If this is not an oversight, considering the privates mostly have the same lines, it cannot be interfered that the same-sex relationships are considered a taboo in Super Earth culture. Procreation applications typically require a 180-day review process. After the final liberation of Malevelon Creek, the president of Super Earth officially recognized April 3rd, the first full day of peace on the planet, as Malevelon Creek Memorial Day. Every year on this day, Super Earth citizens will unite for a full 3 minutes of their lunch break in solemn remembrance of those who gave their lives to free Malevelon Creek. In addition, all Helldivers have been issued a special commemorative cape so that they may carry the memory of their fallen companions into battle. And last but not least, technology. The GWW can receive information at any time, during warp, deep space exploration, and even during battle. It works by an array of quantum devices with interlinked particles, which can instantly transfer voice communication, text messaging, important information from Super Earth, and so forth. The only delay is from the surveillance patriots on Super Earth who search all communication for signs of alien sympathizers. Fun fact, did you know the ship can get into any position in the galaxy in mere seconds? This is due to the Alcubierre drive, invented in the early 2030s. The drive works by creating a wave in time-space to actually make time and, well, space flow around the ship. Originally worn by lunar terraformers, the suit can withstand rapid changes in pressure, heat, and personal velocity. The CE-07 Demolition Specialist Armor. The suit's plutonium-238 nuclear battery enables environmental scanning long after the user has ceased operation. The SC-34 Infiltrator Body Armor. This armor is the Super Earth Standard issue made from the same titanium alloy as the Destroyer's hull, the B-01 Tactical Body Armor. Now that we have covered absolutely everything, I hope I've answered a lot of the questions. If you've never played Helldivers 1, why are we fighting these bots? Well, bots and bugs. Well, that's because we're spreading democracy for Super Earth, clearly. Alright? We have covered the intro to Helldivers, the Helldivers core, and Super Earth. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, like for more, and the next video we will be going over every single bug, Illuminate, and Cyborg enemy, as well as all of the weapons. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until the next one, keep spreading democracy. Paddle Thumbz loves you more. You're mad.